Hello, my name is Rodney. I wanted to share some information with you about a 2002 M3 project car I'm working on. Going to be doing a conversion on the car. And one area that I'm going to start with to share some information in is the accelerator pedal. This car originally came with a DBW, which is drive-by-wire, aka electronic throttle controlled by the computer. I'm going to be using a DBC setup, which is drive-by cable, for this particular car. And this is the area where I'm going to cover a little bit of detail because I've seen a lot of confusion and I see people getting stuck in certain rabbit holes. And the process actually is pretty simple. I already started just kind of snapping the pieces into place. And I thought for a minute, let me pause and grab the camera in case there's someone else out there that may be stuck searching the good old YouTube world for some help and easy answers. I also noticed some other videos out there. Sometimes they make videos and they skip some of the important details that you may need. So I am going to do my best to get as many details in here as possible. And then hopefully again, this will share. You guys can share this. It will help someone else out. Please take a minute just to like and subscribe. And I will share, more of the entire build process as we go through the stages with this car. Early stages right now, everything's pretty rough. I've already got a lot of the car stripped out, other areas being worked on, but right now we're going to focus on the throttle pedal, accelerator pedal. Really. As you can see in here, I've got, again, like I said, I've got a lot of this car apart. In here, if you see, I got two pedals, the two pedals here, right? This is the original, this is your drive-by-wire setup, right? It's got a plug in it. This is what I'm taking out. And I already removed it, but I'm going to share some information. I'm going to take a step back just to share here how easy this is, right? So this pedal assembly, you can see this spot here, right? There's a bracket that's on the floor of the car, right under here, right? So this kind of snaps in and it clicks into place. This top part of the pedal, this is all just locked onto this bracket. This actually slides off. So there's a lot of confusion. I see people trying to get these off. There's a little tiny clip in here. It can be very brittle. Like this one's over 21 years old. If your car's older and the little thing breaks off, don't be surprised. You can get a replacement one if you need to reuse it. But what you're going to do is you're going to put this screwdriver in the side here. You're going to pull up. You're going to pull up gently on it. And then you're going to slide this assembly off. All right, so this part will stay in the car. You're going to slide this top piece off. Now your bracket will be locked into the floor. And then in the back, over here, you're going to have one bolt. Right? That bolt will be on that bracket. So you can take this out. It's an Allen head bolt. Once you remove that, you'll have two little clips that are in here that you kind of just gently just pop these little guys back. You're going to lift this assembly right out. So then your drive-by-wire throttle pedal, you move that to the side, you're done. Now I've got some parts here. So 1999 and 2000 model year 323i's with the M52, they had in those cars a drive-by cable setup. So they had a mechanical gas pedal. So I'll share the details on the part numbers for you here. But basically the bottom bracket, great thing about it, got a little tab. All you do is you just snap that thing right back into the floor. So it's like a factory fit. It's very clean, nice looking. So you'll end up buying a pedal, the pedal itself. Then there's one other piece. Sorry about that. There's another piece here, which is the linkage. This one here comes up, and then your cable is going to attach to the top. Okay. So this is, nothing was cut or hacked. This is going to fit right in the car with plenty of clearance. And I'll show there's even a spot on the top where the cable can go through the firewall. Now, to make this a little easier, you can see there's a pivot point right here. When I move this, right, this is where the pedal's rotating. So if you've got this is an E46 car, and they use this same bracket. So to make it a little easier, got this bracket off the car. You should not need to install this on the E46 if that's the platform that you're working on. So you can see that this lever, right, is going to go right through here. to install this, I did remove the 3 10mm, right? There's one 10mm here, there's one on the top here, and there's one on the top left on this side. Those 3 10mm, I loosened them. And you can see in the video here, there's one here, there's one up here, which you can get with a swivel, up right behind this corner here. There's another one here. Loosen those 3 10mm. There's nothing attached to that bracket. All it is just bolted right to the firewall. Slide this forward. You can slide this forward. That gives you the ability to slide this piece right in as you snap your pedal assembly in. So you're going to have this part, these two pieces attached. You're going to snap this into the floor. This piece will be loose off the firewall. You'll slide it in and then put everything back together. And then all we need to do is, I still need to put the throttle stop down here just to have it. And I don't have a spring on there right now, so I'll show you. We'll be putting a spring on the top. And I'm waiting for one other small bushing that goes into the side. So it actually turns out to be a really... All right, so gonna get back in here, finish up the accelerator pedal. I needed to order one of these bushings when I did order all of the parts. I did forget to order 2 of them. So the second one goes right on the edge here of this guy, and then inside the housing. So snap that into the inside, and that one in there. Now the bracket's solid, pedal pivot's fine. And then I also, even though the throttle body setup is going to have springs on it, I am going to attach the pedal spring just to help with extra return pressure. If I find out that it's too much, the combination, then I can just remove the one off the pedal and just use the throttle body one. But there actually is a little bushing that goes in the back on the mounting bracket. So there is a little bushing that can go in the back of the bracket assembly that the spring hooks into. We're going to put that up in the back first and then hook the spring on. This is just an easy way to cut the cable housing and the cable with a small Dremel, and then you can clean up the ends of it so that it does not get stuck on the way through the cable. And it also makes it a very clean finish for when you need to slide it into the cable end when connecting it to the throttle pedal lever. The other important part of this is that you need a 7mm diameter cable end to fit perfectly. You can go to parts stores. They will have numerous different size cable ends in a kit, but you need to make sure you get the 7mm cable end that will fit in the BMW pedal perfectly. So in here, what I did was, this is the original, this is the grommet. This will be plugged off, right? If you have a drive-by wire car, right? I'm going backwards. I'm going to a cable. So you take this out, and then back here, there's also another opening here
where the earlier E46 cars had cables. What I did though is I'm using the Motion Raceworks cable, which is you can fully customize the length. The ends come off so you can mount it and test everything exactly the way you want it to be for fitment and clearance issues. But due to the original contour that's on this firewall back here, I put a washer in here. It's just a little bit wider than here, so the concave of the nuts can center it as far as the cable end. And then I just use these two to lock my other washer down in place, and I'm going to put some seam sealer around the end to keep any moisture out. But the cool thing about it is I was able to just reshape the washer, just kind of take a lot of the contour from the firewall out so that I can put my cable end, straight in to give me a better shot right above the throttle. So on the right hand side is a factory LS1 cable, which overall the cable sleeve length is about 39 inches, and this would have worked great if I was using a standard position for throttle cable mounting. But because of the intake that I'm running, the mounting point is kind of mid engine. So with the Motion Raceworks cable, I was able to cut this down to the exact length that I need for a mounting point. So overall, this is about 35 inches. So it'll look a lot cleaner when everything's in there. This is the factory grommet for the E46, and then I can just go back. Again, the reason this is like this because it's a little shorter and easy to set up, because my cable is actually going to mount directly in the middle here, right, and then come up and go over here. So that's why having a little shorter is going to work better rather than the stock LS1 cable, right, which would have needed to be a little bit longer in order to come all the way to the front and then kind of mount up here on the right front of the throttle body. Right now the cable is fully routed. It's connected. You can see I just touched the throttle pedal ever so lightly, and you can see everything moving in harmony. So it's worked out just as expected. Okay, let's get this throttle pedal deal all wrapped up. I've got my part list here that I said I would share with you guys. I just need to put my old man glasses on so that I can read the part numbers to you. And again, I understand this video is, not for everybody. There's different ways to go about this. Many guys will stay with drive-by-wire, and that's fine. I just chose to go this route for the specific build and the throttle response that I was looking for out of the car. But I'll start going back to the original throttle mounting bracket, right? That's the bracket that goes onto the firewall inside the car. And it has the three 10 millimeter bolts around it that everything attaches to. So first look in your vehicle. The particular car you're working on may already have that bracket, and you may not need to buy it. But if you do need to start there, the throttle pedal bracket part number is 354-111-63875, 354-111-63875. Then you're going to need the accelerator shaft that goes into that bracket, which is 354-111-63876. That's 354-111-63876. You will also need two of the accelerator bushings, the pedal bushings that snap into that housing around the pedal shaft to keep it supported and give it the pivot point. So two of these, you're going to need 354-111-63898. That's 354-111-63898. And then you're going to need the accelerator pedal itself, 354-111-58660. So 354-111-58660. Then in addition to that, I did show the comparison between the two different throttle cables, right? One was the original LS1 cable, and the other one that I chose to go with ultimately was Motion Raceworks. I did order the 48-inch cable because you can cut it down and modify it. I didn't want to order the short one and then have to wait, so I ordered the long one, which turned out to be great. But the Motion Raceworks cable, part number is 18-141. And, the LS1 cable would have worked, and, it had a factory plastic clip-in end that I didn't want to use on the firewall side. I prefer the aftermarket one where I could take off the cable ends and physically mount that cable end right through the firewall into the washer that I installed there. And then it has lock nuts. So the cable end goes through the firewall, and it's got 2 jam nuts. So that thing locks in place and it's not going to go anywhere. But again, ultimately, I hope that this, helps somebody. A lot of times when you go down this path and it's not something you do every day, you're not sure on what parts can interchange between model years and vehicles. That takes a lot of time, right, to do that research. So hopefully you get a chance to review this. I please ask that you like and subscribe. And I do look forward to sharing more videos about this build with everyone here. Thank you. And I'll see you on the next one. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about the rear differential and subframe reinforcement.